to guide us all through this wonderful process. My name is Shamji Ali, and we expect to have a very exciting time together, not only business-wise, but meeting and greeting a little bit afterwards. We will, of course, be, as I mentioned before, live on Trinidad and Tobago television, and so we ask you to be mindful of that. We may ask you to do an interview or two. Please don't shy away from the camera. So, before we do anything else, I'd like to ask you to stand for 3 items. The items are going to be the national song of India, Vande Mataram, and please remain standing for the national anthems of both India and Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you. Please take your seats, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned in my opening, we are obviously here for the launch of a very exciting time, very exciting entity. This is the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation, TTIBF. Our first speaker is going to join us at the podium momentarily, but first let me give you his very illustrious background. He is a financial economist, investment strategist, and corporate director with expertise spanning capital markets, financial systems, and macroeconomic strategy. He serves as a director of Maritime Capital, one of Trinidad and Tobago's leading investment management firms, where he contributes to portfolio strategy, risk oversight, and long-term capital allocation decisions. In addition to his corporate role, he is a lecturer in finance, economics, and econometrics, that's econometrics, at the University of the West Indies, UWI, bringing analytical depth to financial market development and economic strategy. He's also a consultant with the World Bank, the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, and regional central banks on financial sector reform, capital market expansion, and macro financial stability. He also serves as Vice President of the Chaguanas Chamber of Industry and Commerce and sits on the Council of the Institute of Banking and Finance of Trinidad and Tobago, supporting private sector competitiveness and professional development in the financial services industry. A respected regional commentator, he provides analysis on fiscal policy, financial markets, and economic transformation, and regularly engages policymakers and investors at international forums on emerging markets, opportunities, and global economic trends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to please warmly welcome to the microphone with his opening remarks and the introduction to the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation, Dr. Valmiki Arjun, the President of the TTIBF.
His Excellency, Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajpurohit, High Commissioner of India to Trinidad and Tobago, honorable members of government, members of the head table, members of the diplomatic corps, Dr. Sunarayan Kusal, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I bid you all a very good evening, and it gives me great pride to welcome you all to the launch of the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation. And believe me when I tell you this was a long time coming. The High Commissioner could certainly attest to this. Now, before I dive into what this federation is all about, I just want to tell you all a quick story. A story about a phone call, one phone call that changed an entire country. It's June 1991. And a finance ministry official in New Delhi picks up the phone and makes perhaps one of the most worrying calls in modern economic history. He's calling the Bank of England. And the message is quite simple, but very urgent. We need to airlift our gold reserves to London as collateral for an emergency loan. We only have about 2 weeks of foreign exchange left, maybe even less. Now think about that for a moment. A nation of 800 million people forced to mortgage literally quite a lot of their gold, tons of it, flown out in the dead of night just to be able to keep their lights on. The Indian rupee was in free fall, inflation was at 17%, and the government was almost broke. Credit ratings agencies were stamping India's file downgrade. But here's what happened the next day. The government stopped making excuses and they started making some very hard decisions. They dismantled something known as the license Raj that basically strangled private enterprises for decades. They liberalized the economy. They slashed tariffs significantly and they opened up their economy to mass foreign investment. They welcomed the privatization of certain industries as well. They stopped protecting mediocrity and started to reward excellence. 35 years later, that same country now has over $600 billion in reserves. It's a $4.6 trillion economy, the fourth largest in the world, and growing faster than any of the other top 10 major economies internationally. They went from having to airlift gold to London venture capitalists airlifting their money to Mumbai. So India didn't just recover, it transformed into a completely different economic animal, a formidable economic force. Now let me bring this home for a second here. Our circumstances are not a mirror of what India faced back then. We're not airlifting gold, we're not in collapse, but we are exposed. Our foreign exchange earnings remain very concentrated in what happens in the oil and gas sector, and of course is very limited in supply. Food import bill is still quite high. Our manufacturing base still has quite a lot of excess capacity, is limited. And our SMEs continue to struggle to access capital and forex. And of course, we've been discussing diversification for decades, and execution has been quite slow. So the question isn't whether we admire India's transformation. It's whether we can position ourselves to benefit from where India now stands. They went from having to import aspirin in the 1960s to becoming the world's third largest pharmaceutical supplier by volume. In fact, over 60% of vaccines internationally are supplied by India. You all remember the early 2000s when millions of people were dying from the AIDS virus, even though the antiretroviral drugs existed, but they cost about on average over $10,000 per year per patient. At that price, that's a death sentence for people, especially in poorer countries. But India started to manufacture the same antiretroviral drugs for under $1 per day. Because for India, access to life-saving medication is a basic human right, not a luxury. So of course, started saving millions of lives in turn. In 1977, IBM walked away from India. Today, every tech giant is fighting to get in. Last year, Microsoft and Amazon, in one day, pumped over $50 billion into India's cloud and AI infrastructure. Their tech industry last year generated about $254 billion in revenues, with $194 billion in exports. That's over 7 times, that one sector in India is over 7 times TNT's GDP. Their payment system, the digital payment system, UPI, processes about 130 billion transactions in 1 year last year. That's more than any other payment platform internationally. And here's the kicker. India did all of this and so much more while lifting 400 million persons out of poverty. That's more than the population of the US and Canada combined. Now, some of you might be asking yourselves this, well, that's all great for India, right? But what does that have to do with us? Everything. Because the world is reorganizing itself. Supply chains built over 50 years are now being rebuilt in 5. Countries are looking for new, reliable trading partners, and energy security is right back at the top of the agenda, the global agenda. And Trinidad and Tobago now, well, we are at a crossroads. We could keep watching our foreign reserves dwindle, stay very limited. We can keep hoping that energy prices recover and they save us. We can keep talking about diversification, even though we still quite haven't gotten there yet. Or we could make a strategic move. And India is that strategic move. We're not starting from ground zero. Of course, we have very deep historical and cultural ties with India. And we already have commercial momentum. In 2024, we exported about $260 million of goods to India. We imported 109 million worth. We have a trade surplus with India. But now we build. India is the world's 3rd largest energy consumer. We've got some of what they need, LNG, the petrochemicals like the ammonia, the methanol. And their energy majors, like the Reliance, India Oil, ONGC, they can invest here in Trinidad and Tobago, making our upstream sector much more competitive. And when it becomes more competitive, we produce more gas. And they, in turn, would secure more supply from us. So it's a natural fit. And of course, their capital, their technical expertise can help us to reopen what used to be a net foreign exchange earner, our refinery. India has pharmaceutical capacity that could slash our healthcare costs and create regional export opportunities, where Indian manufacturing, pharmaceutical manufacturers, they could ship bulk drugs here for packaging and exports to the Caribbean and Latin America. We can become their regional distribution hub. Imagine this, a single pharmaceutical packaging joint venture located in one of the special economic zones, importing bulk APIs from India, exporting the finished generics to CARICOM and to Latin America. That could generate jobs, that could earn foreign exchange, and of course it could lower our healthcare costs substantially. That is the kind of project that this federation will help to spearhead and prioritize. Agricultural technology from India could help to transform our food security. Because, ladies and gentlemen, importing 80% of our food continuously, that is not a strategy, that's dependency. India's digital infrastructure could revolutionize our public service. Their venture capital could finally give our SMEs access to real financing and even foreign exchange. What about our economic revitalization plan? Indian investors could provide the strategic capital to help accelerate it. They need some of what we have, and we need what they've built. But here's the reality. Partnerships, they don't just happen by accident. They happen through structure, relationships, trust, and of course, persistent effort. And that's why we're here tonight. The Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation is not going to be a talk shop. It's not just about the networking, the cocktails. It's not about exchanging business cards. I mean, we do all of those things too, and the cocktails will be excellent. But this is more about building the infrastructure for a real economic relationship. Because here's the truth. Relationships matter in business. Trust matters. Showing up consistently matters. We already have strong commercial ties with the United States, with China, with Canada, with the European Union. And these relationships are indeed very vital. But India in many ways, unfortunately, from a commercial standpoint, has unfortunately been overlooked. The world's center of gravity, economic gravity, is shifting. And if we continue to still only rely on our traditional partners, while India is rising in the East, we're going to wake up one day and realize that we've missed the boat. This federation exists to help to change that. So, what does this federation actually do? Well, we're just kicking off, but here's our plan as we build this organization. Plans that are realistic, deliverable, and focused. First of all, we will help to facilitate business connections, help you to match opportunities with the right companies. Right now, they're Trinidadian businesses. Some of you in this very room might be ready to partner with some Indian companies, but you're probably hitting a wall. Not because you lack capability, but because you might lack the connections, the market intelligence, the pathway in. This also means establishing a relationship with some powerful chambers of commerce in India, like FICCI, for example. It also means trade missions, real ones, not tourism that is disguised as business trips. We'll take Trinidadian companies in due course to India, targeted sectors, prearranged meetings, concrete opportunities, and we'll also help to facilitate Indian businesses coming here into TNT looking for opportunities. Secondly, help to provide market intelligence, market research, sector analysis, regulatory updates. Because you can't do business in a market that you don't understand. Right now, if you're a Trinidadian business wanting to enter into India, where do you start? Which states have the best incentives? You might be flying blind. Indian companies also looking into Trinidad might have the same problem. We would be looking to solve that with practical, usable information that you can act on. Thirdly, forming sector working groups, energy, pharmaceuticals, agribusiness, digital economy, manufacturing. These groups won't be talk shops, as I said earlier. One job they'll have, identify concrete partnership opportunities and help to make these things happen, to materialize them. Start small, build up the credibility, and then scale up. Fourth, advocate. Advocate for policies, for reforms and infrastructure that make deeper trade and investment possible. Things like streamlining customs activities, better digital connectivity, new taxation agreements. We will be one of those loud voices saying, here's what businesses need to make this work. And fifth, and in my view, perhaps what might be the very most important one, a young professionals network, student exchanges, opportunities for internships in corporations in India, because if this is only about us in this room, well, we've already failed. The next generation needs to see India as a natural economic partner where they can build careers and create opportunities. That's it. That's the plan. Focused and deliverable. Now, what's in it for you? Because let's be direct, it's a Sunday evening, you're busy people. You didn't come here tonight for speeches and statistics, right? You came here to understand what can this federation actually do for my business? And that's a fair question. And here's the answer. Deeper commercial ties with India, what does that mean? It means market access, not just to 1.4 billion people, but to the markets India has access through its trade agreements across Asia, Africa, the rest of the world. If you partner with an Indian company, you're not just accessing India, you're accessing their network, because many Indian companies do business with well over 60 other countries. Investment flows both ways. There's Indian capital looking for opportunities right here in the Caribbean, in TNT. Imagine businesses, our businesses, finding joint venture partnerships. Partnerships with scale, with expertise, and with ambition. Real partnerships, not press releases. Knowledge transfer, learning from India's successes and failures in economic reform. Digital transformation. The micro and small enterprise business development. India has tried many things in their path. Some worked spectacularly, and some unfortunately failed. But the good thing is that we can learn from both without having to pay tuition in mistakes. Diversification, actual, real diversification, the kind that shows up in our export data, our employment figures, and our foreign exchange earnings. Greater resilience for your businesses when you develop multiple partnerships, multiple supply chains, multiple options, because putting all your eggs, all our economic eggs in one basket and hoping OPEC plays nice and does something that will push the price of oil or natural gas up is not a strategy. Let me be honest about what this takes. Building this is going to take work. It's going to take patience and resilience when things may not move as fast as we'd like, because nothing involving regulations and cross-border commerce ever moves as quickly as we would like it to. And India is not an easy market. You've got 28 states, you've got 22 official languages, multiple regulatory regimes. You can't just show up in Mumbai or Delhi with a briefcase and expect to close deals quickly, right? And Trinidad, we have our own challenges, a small market, in some cases limited productive capacity in certain sectors. But here's the thing. India spent decades being told it was too complicated, it was too poor, it was too chaotic to succeed. And they proved everyone wrong by working through their challenges systematically. That's our model. We're not pretending this is going to be easy, but we're saying it will be worth it. So here's what I'm asking from you all tonight. Join us, not as passive members, but as active builders. If you're a business owner, bring us your challenges, and we'll help you to connect the dots. If you're a young professional, get involved. Build relationships that will help you to define your career. If you're an investor, start looking at India-Trinidad joint ventures. Even start looking at the Indian capital market as a legitimate portfolio strategy. And if you're skeptical, well, good. Stay engaged, challenge us, push us to deliver. That's how we will get better. If you look on the screen at certain points, on the side here, and at the very corner there, on your left-hand side, there's a QR code that you can scan on your mobile phone that will take you to our webpage where you can join the TTIBF. Sign up for membership, because here's what you will really be joining: the ground floor of a strategic economic relationship that could help to define Trinidad and Tobago's next chapter. Now let me close with this. That phone call that was made to the Bank of England in June 1991, that was India's moment of truth. Make fundamental changes or accept decline. Now, we are not in a crisis. We are not airlifting gold, but let's be honest. We're at an inflection point. We can keep doing what we've been doing all along, or we can make a strategic bet on a partnership that aligns with where the global economy is heading. India chose transformation. Yes, it might have been painful at times, but it worked, and it worked spectacularly. Tonight, we are choosing partnership, not because it's easy, but because it is strategic, not to replace our traditional partners, but because the world is becoming so multipolar, and resilience comes from diversified economic relationships. This federation exists to build one of these relationships deliberately, because the countries that are going to thrive in the 21st century might not be the countries with the most amount of resources on the ground. They're the ones with the best relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation. Before I close, I just would like to introduce you to this year's office holders. Firstly, we have Mr. Shamal Chandradat Singh, our first Vice President. Mrs. Trisha Kusal, our second Vice President. Unfortunately, she could not join us just yet, but I assure you, she's very powerfully represented tonight. We have Mr. Sean Anand, our Secretary. Mr. Sean Maharaj, our Treasurer, he is in India at this point. Mrs. Siddhi Sankar, our PRO. Mr. Akshay Sharma, the Assistant Secretary. Mr. Narendra Prasad, the Assistant Treasurer. Mr. Amit Alag, the Director of Events and Partnerships. Mr. Daniel Angelo Austin, who's in charge of environmental, social, and corporate governance, but unfortunately he's unwell, so he's not here with us tonight. Then we have Mr. Richard Ramrika, the Director of Trade and Investments. Mr. Navneet Bodai, Membership, who's in charge of Membership, Business Development, Policy, and Advocacy. And finally, Mr. Vikash Maharaj, who is actually in India right now with our treasurer. Both of them are on a very important assignment, but I'll say no more about that just now. So this is the leadership team, ladies and gentlemen. The team that will spearhead the development of this organization and help to turn this partnership into real tangible opportunities for both Trinidad and Tobago and India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Valmiki Arjun. Dr. Arjun, the President of the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation. Congratulations, Dr. Arjun, and best wishes to Dr. Arjun and his team as they move forward with lots of dynamic ventures, no doubt, between Trinidad and Tobago and India. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to ask, with a special address, to join us on stage, His Excellency Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajpurohit, our High Commissioner of India to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Please join us on stage, Dr. Rajpurohit.
Senator, the Honorable Satyakama Maharaj, Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism. Honorable Davindranath Tankuji, Minister of Finance and Minister in the Ministry of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development. Honorable Dr. Colin Neil Goshai, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism. All the Honorable former Ministers, MPs, Parliamentary Secretaries, Honorable Permanent Secretaries, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Senior Officials of the Government of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Valmiki Arjun, Chairman of the newly founded Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation, all the esteemed office bearers of the TNT India Business Federation, my apology. We also have members from the Diplomatic Corps, Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Ambassador Alvaro Sanchez, Ambassador of Venezuela, welcome sir. Ambassador of Chile, Ambassador of Panama, Ambassador of Cuba, and all other esteemed members of the Diplomatic Corps in Trinidad and Tobago, all the heads of the business chambers from across Trinidad and Tobago, esteemed members of the business chambers, all the esteemed business leaders from all across cross-sections of the business community, Mr. Sivnarayan Kusal, Mr. Paladi, Mr. Prasad, Dr. Praveen Sharma, and many more. Forgive me for not taking all the names. All the colleagues from the High Commission of India, Mahatma Gandhi Center, and everyone around. A warm welcome to the Mahatma Gandhi Center, to the premises of the Indian High Commission. Your presence in such a large number this evening, on a Sunday evening, and that too presence of honorable ministers, senior dignitaries, diplomatic corps, signifies the immense interest in having greater engagement and businesses between India and Trinidad and Tobago. We have had a series of events and activities in this hall, in this premises, but this is a special event. This is first of its kind, first event of this sort, first experiment in that direction, which our friend Dr. Valmiki Arjun has very ably, very aptly described, outlined what is the vision, what we are going to do. I and my team in the Indian High Commission are indeed very pleased today on the formal launching of this business federation, an entity we have been deliberating upon for a long time. We were planning to launch it sometimes last year at the time of the visit of Prime Minister of India, and then it kept on rolling on and various things came in between. This is something for which we had had several rounds of discussions, negotiations, brainstorming on what would be its shape, what would be its functioning, who will be the members, and so on. It kept on going. But honestly, I congratulate Dr. Valmiki Arjun, the founding president of this federation, and all the founding members, Mr. Shyamal Chandradat Singh, Mr. Son Anand Singh, Mr. Son Maharaj, Mr. Amit Alag, and all others for making it possible. And that required a lot of effort, including its registration, opening up a bank account, making aware about various members, and mobilizing all of you this evening. As of today, on its opening, I believe that there is already some kind of membership that this federation has already. But as we go from here, I urge more and more of you, whatever possible, do join, actively join, being part of the membership of this federation. This is going to be the part of this collaborative effort in taking forward this joint partnership between India and Trinidad and Tobago. You all know we do not need any introduction. This relationship between our two countries is age-old, deep-rooted in people-to-people relations. And this year is the 180th anniversary. Last year was the 180th year of the first arrival of the ancestors from Bharat Desh to the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. We have all seen, and in my more than 2 years, I have seen personally strong bonds of cultural bonds, festivals, rituals, traditions, many aspects that have remained steadfast in this relationship. We also know that a sizable number of devotees go to India every year. Every month we issue visa, and we know they go for pilgrimage, they go for various family-related events, activities, and so on. And this cultural connect we do appreciate, we do embrace. It is there for a long, long time. But we feel that there is an immense potential to further substantiate our age-old partnership into a robust economic partnership, a robust trade partnership, which is still currently at a modest level of few $100 million USD. And as I said on other occasions, we are large country. We talk more in billions than in millions, and trade should be more in terms of billions. So I think there is an immense potential. There is a need to translate our cultural bonds into this robust economic partnership. We have witnessed the landmark visit of Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, to Trinidad and Tobago last year. And we thank the government and people of this country for extending a warm welcome to our Prime Minister and his delegation. We are currently working on the implementation of various outcomes, announcements made during that visit. And we have implemented some of those, including the highly successful prosthetic limb camp in Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend Valmiki has already outlined India is the 4th largest economy in the world and likely to be the 3rd largest economy in the near future. He has mentioned that India's that pendulum from what we were in 1991 and what we are today. But I wish to correct that, our trade foreign reserves is now not 600, it has record high of 725 billion USD. And under the able leadership of Prime Minister Modi ji, that India has transformed in the last few years and is leaping forward year by year, day by day. We have a very robust startup innovation system that down the line in a decade, we have gone much, much higher. We today have thousands of startups and what to my knowledge about 250 unicorns. Unicorn means an entity with 1 billion USD net worth. And that has been possible because of that ecosystem which has been provided. India in the 60s and 70s have gone through the green revolution, that from a net importing country, a recipient country of food grain, we became a net exporting country after feeding our such large population. We had then several other success stories, including the white revolution and several other revolutions that India has passed through. And we have moved out millions and millions of people collectively together, not just the government, but everyone together out of the web of poverty, out of the web of unemployment. What we need from Trinidad and Tobago, whether it is the government, it is the business entities, business chamber, or individual businessmen. India is like kind of an ocean. We have almost everything to offer. It may not necessarily be in the form of a direct export from India, Trinidad and Tobago to India, but we have so much to offer in terms of developing a business ecosystem that what you need is to customize your package. As I said in earlier occasions also, there is a need to customize your package, what you are looking for. And then we are here as High Commission and now this entity that we facilitate, we support, we provide the networking, we provide the connect, we provide that platform. And that is the purpose that we have all come together this evening. We aim to invite the Federation with this, the businessmen and all those stakeholders to India and link them with the Indian business chambers like the Confederation of Indian Industry, the FICCI, the ASSOCHAM, the PhD Chamber of Commerce. These are just big names. Each Indian state is as good as a large country, and we have those business chambers. Every district has its own specialty, a specific product. So it's such a large economy that what you exactly need, and as he says, it's not easy at times that you end up in one city and want to do business. And that is where the role of these business entities, business federation, the diplomatic community, the trade representatives, our role comes that we facilitate. We wish to make their exposure in India's flagship trade and economic activities. Honorable Minister of Trade and Industry is today here. We appreciate that TTMA is mounting a delegation to India in the coming months. This is what we gather the information from media and from TTMA. We appreciate, Excellency, this initiative. This will help. It may also be noted that in India's economy, we have commodity-specific institutions. You say gems and jewelry, we have a Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council. You say leather, we have Leather Export Council. You say textile, we have Export Promotion Council. We have Tea Board of India, Coffee Board of India, Rubber Board of India. All these are big institutions. And back end, we have the research institution, Central Sugarcane Research Institute, Central Rice Research Institute, Central Wheat Research Institute, and likewise, there are plenty of Seaboard, APEDA. There are hundreds of these entities. We have commodity specific, I said earlier also. And India's economy, we have the strength of services. 60% or more of our economy, our GDP comes from services. We are kind of a global capital, BPOs, outsourcing. We have plenty of these things. We also aim to, through such federations and entities, invite some of the Indian business delegations to Trinidad and Tobago and have joint activities and discussions. Some of the promising areas of collaboration and economic engagement with India include health and pharmaceuticals. Now we have seen the signing of the Indian Pharmacopoeia and India's world-class affordable generic medicine. One example was vaccines, but India has helped all over the world during the COVID pandemic, and nobody can forget that kind of valuable assistance and saving of precious lives during that period. Agriculture and food processing, we mentioned about this. You have such a favorable environment, fertile soil. What we need is the world-class agriculture technology as well as agro-processing technologies. Textile and garment, again, India is known for its world-class textiles, cotton, silk, and all kinds of ready-made garments. Transportation, yes, short-mile connectivity to large scale, to railways, wherever the requirement is, India is there to offer world-class technologies, products, commodities, services in transportation. Solar energy, we are inching very fast in the area of renewable energy, and especially in the solar, that India has come up very well on the global map. And most important is the engineering goods. In engineering good, and I served in many countries, I can tell you that people are bringing Indian engineering products, a wide range of engineering products used in various industries, used in various professions, and they are being brought from India. Some they assemble here, and India has been a very promising source of these items. Ladies and gentlemen, last week, an international summit on artificial intelligence was hosted by India in a grand manner, with participations of leaders from all over the world. And we are glad that Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence of Trinidad and Tobago, Honorable Dominic Smith, was part of that event. PM Modi ji said on this occasion, today artificial intelligence stands at a civilizational inflection point. It can expand human capabilities in unprecedented ways, but it can also test existing social foundations it left unguided. This is why we have deliberately framed this summit around impact. This ensures meaningful and equitable outcomes, not just innovation. The guiding spirit, Sarvajan Hitaya Sarvajan Sukhaya, reflects India's civilizational philosophy. The end goal of technology should be welfare for all, happiness of all. Technology exists to serve humanity, but not to replace it. The summit is structured around people, planet, and progress. AI systems draw upon knowledge and data generated across societies worldwide. Therefore, we want artificial intelligence benefits to be diffused to everyone and not just hoarded by early adopters. We are glad that this has indeed had a great resonance all over the world. India is going to be a major player in the sphere of artificial intelligence and other cutting-edge technologies in the times to come. Already we have successful example of adoption of India's flagship digital payment portal, UPI, by Trinidad and Tobago. We are in the process of its implementation, and as the dignitaries are present here from the government, I urge for its early implementation as early as possible so that its benefits could be realized and people see a qualitative change in their lives. Excellencies, friends, we are glad that in the last 2-3 months we had 4 visits from Trinidad and Tobago to India. First, Dr. Risat Sricharan, Minister in the Ministry of Health, attended the 2nd WHO Conference on Traditional Medicine in December. Honorable Jagdev Singh, Speaker of the House of Representatives, attended the Commonwealth Speakers and Presiding Officers Conference in January in Delhi. Dr. Rudil Munilal, Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, attended the India Energy Week in January this year. And Senator, the Honorable Dominic Smith, had just attended the AI Impact Summit in India. Friends, without taking much time, I wish to convey that there is a wide canvas of economic engagement between India and Trinidad and Tobago. We need to work together in intensifying this engagement. This business federation is a step forward in that direction. This is an effort to provide a platform for deliberations, networking, bringing together the stakeholders, and encouraging all those who are otherwise think that they are left out towards India, and they think that India is far. The purpose is that it work as a space to bring together the genuinely interested parties, stakeholders, business entities from all over, which may be in third countries, to work towards this common goal. I sincerely thank Honorable Ministers and Parliamentary Secretaries and all others for taking time and joining this special occasion. I sincerely thank and congratulate the Federation and its office bearers for their efforts in giving this entity a shape and wish them all the best in their endeavors in the times to come. Thank you all for taking time this evening. Namaste, Jai Hind, Jai Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajpurohit, High Commissioner of India to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I'd like to ask His Excellency to stay with us just a little bit longer because I've been told by Mr. Alag that we do have a presentation for our Honorable Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Minister Satyakumar Maharaj, to please join us briefly on stage. He's got some duties to perform on stage a little bit later on, but we'd like to ask him to join us at this time to receive a presentation from His Excellency.
I'd like to present Excellency, a copy of my memoir.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you, Dr. Arjuna. Thank you so much, Minister Maharaj. We'll be seeing him shortly. He just presented His Excellency with a copy of his book, his memoir, and I'm sure that's excellent reading for everyone here. Now, this time, we're going to break from the speeches to bring you an item, a couple of items of entertainment. And as you know, here at the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation, the entertainment is first class. And as we set the national instrument in place, I'd like to give you a brief description of our next performer. Maybe you've seen her before. If you have not seen her, you're in for a real treat. This young lady is a multi-talented daughter of the soil, a former student of Astor Girls College in San Fernando, and other institutions, of course. She is a Kathak dancer, a singer, a musician. She began dancing at the age of 4, learning from her mom, Susan Mohip, who is a world-renowned Kathak dancer herself. Additionally, she plays the harmonium, the pan, I believe the sitar, I believe the tabla, I believe the dholak, but I know for a fact the pan. So many, too many to call. She is, of course, the daughter of the iconic musician, Father Rana Mohip. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a treat, as I mentioned before. Please welcome the multi-talented Sunanda Mohip. So not double whip, everyone. Clearly, she plays the pan and she plays it very well. She sings, she dances, she plays multiple instruments. Sometimes she actually does it all at the same time. Not today. We just came out of Carnival, and I'm sure it took a lot of composure to remain, or a lot of self-control to remain composed. We still have Carnival on our brains, I know most of us, coming out of that wonderful pan instrumental piece. And we're going to segue into another art form, and this is dance, ladies and gentlemen. When I use the term vidushi speaks to someone who's a learned woman in whatever sphere of culture she operates in. So just giving you that note. Bharatnatyam dance performance is on the stage next by Srimati Deepa Bhatt. Deepa is a dance teacher here at the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation. In Indian classical tradition, every sacred journey begins with a prayer to Lord Ganesh, seeking his blessings for success, clarity, and harmony. Today, Vidushi Deepa Bhatt will be presenting Ananda Nartana Ganapati, a vibrant composition that celebrates the joyous, rhythmic, and blissful dancing form of Lord Ganesh. This piece beautifully portrays Ganesh not merely as the calm and benevolent deity seated in meditation, but as the cosmic dancer, moving in divine rhythm, radiating joy and filling the universe with auspicious energy. Let us now immerse ourselves in devotion and rhythm. Please welcome Srimati Deepa Bhatt.
आनन्दनर्तन गणपतिं बावये आनन्दनर्तन गणपतिं बावये चिदानन्दनर्तन गणपतिं बावये परमानन्दनर्तन गणपतिं बावये चिदाकारमूलाधार ओंकार गजवदनं परमं परमानन्दनर्तन गणपतिं बावये चिदाकारमूलाधार ओंकार गजवदनं परमं परमानन्दनर्तन गणपतिं बावये आनन्दमुनीन्द्र गणनुत शिव शङ्कर मानस निलीयमानं सानन्दमुनीन्द्र गणनुत शिव शङ्कर मानस निलीयमानं तन्त्रीलय समन्वित गन्धर्व चारण वरानुदीयमानं तन्त्रीलय समन्वित गन्धर्व चारण वरानुदीयमानं दीनजनमन्दारम् अनुपम दिव्यगणेवर शोभायमानं दीनजनमन्दारम् अनुपम दिव्यगणेवर शोभायमानं भासमानं वसमानं भजमानं भक्तजनसन्मानं भासमानं वसमानं भजमानं भक्तजनसन्मानं आमगमरे सनि सरि सा गगजनुत दिमित किटतळङ्गुत गपपमगमरे सनि सरि सा गगजनुत दिमित किटतळङ्गुत दिमित मनघं सुपदं परमं कनकाम्बरधरणं एकदरनं तत्तित्तकजनं तनकधरिधि तकजनं तनकधरितकजनं तनकधरिता तत्तित्तकजनं तनकधरिधित्तकधगं तनकधरितकजनं तनकधरिते तत्तित्तकजनं तनकधरिधित्तकजनं तनकधरितकजनं तनकपरमानन्दन तनगणपति भावये चिराकारमूलाधार ओंकार गजवदनं परमं परमानन्दन तनगणपति भावये
Thank you very much, Srimati Deepa Bhatt, who's also a dance teacher here at the Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Cultural Cooperation. I guess that's a hint. If you need to learn the finer aspects of Bharatnatyam or other disciplines, you might want to check in with them here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on and bring back another speech item to the agenda. And this here is our keynote address. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce our keynote speaker this evening. He is Dr. Sunarayan Prasad Kusal, an exceptional business leader, visionary industrialist, and committed philanthropist, whose contributions have profoundly shaped the development of Trinidad and Tobago. For decades, Dr. Kusal has exemplified principled leadership, innovation, and resilience in enterprise. His remarkable service has been recognized at the highest national and institutional levels. Among his distinguished honors, in 2023, he was awarded the Shikonia Medal Gold for Entrepreneurship and Philanthropy. 2024, awarded the Honorary Doctorate in Entrepreneurship and Innovation from the University of Trinidad and Tobago. In 2021, conferred the Honorary Doctor of Laws by the University of the West Indies. He was inducted into the Business Hall of Fame by the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce. He's also the recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association. He has also been inducted into the Trinidad and Tobago Construction Association. Beyond industry, Dr. Kusal's unwavering commitment to philanthropy and community development has transformed lives, earning him the Spirits of Humanity Award from Habitat for Humanity, Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Kusal represents leadership rooted in service, excellence guided by purpose, and success measured not only in achievement, but in impact. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming our distinguished keynote speaker this evening, Dr. Sunarayan Prasad Kusal.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, for those warm welcome greetings. His Excellency, Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajpurohit, High Commissioner of India to Trinidad and Tobago, honorable members of the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Valmiki Arjun, President of the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation, members of the Diplomatic Corps, executive members of the TTIBF, distinguished partners and guests, fellow business leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is with profound honor and a deep sense of humility that I stand before you this evening at the launch of the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation. We gather at a defining moment. The global economy is not just changing, it is fundamentally reorganizing before our very eyes. As a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and as a businessman who has staked his life on the potential of this nation, I believe our future prosperity hinges on one critical factor: the partners we choose to work with today. And I can think of no more consequential, no more promising partner for this moment in our history than the Republic of India. Two economies, one opportunity forged in history. When we assess the global landscape of 2026, a comparative glance at India and Trinidad and Tobago reveals not merely a contrast in size, but a profound strategic synergy. India stands tall as a US $4.2 trillion titan, the world's fastest growing major economy, fueled by a digital revolution and unparalleled human capital. Its recent finalization of a comprehensive free trade agreement with the European Union, a pact covering nearly 1/3 of the global GDP, signals its trust onto the world stage. Prime Minister Modi rightly called it the mother of all deals. Trinidad and Tobago, a high-income, energy-dense nation of US $22 billion, stands at a crossroads. For decades, we built our wealth on hydrocarbons. We did it exceptionally well. Our energy majors and local conglomerates developed world-class expertise, becoming reliable suppliers to the globe. But the world is evolving, and we must evolve with it. This is not a time for retreat. It is a time for reinvention. India offers us a bridge to that reinvention. This is not only about charity. It is not only about dependency. It is about partnership. And the Trinidad and Tobago Indian Business Federation is a vessel that will carry us across. Prime Minister Modi has articulated a powerful truth. The world is no longer divided by geography, but connected by opportunity. And opportunities, as we know, are fostered and sustained through trust. His Excellency, Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajpurohit, has been a passionate advocate for this shared vision, embodying the Prime Minister's words that trust has become India's strongest currency. As a federation, we hold firmly to that statement. You may ask why. Why India and why now? India is not simply a large economy. It is a dynamic, surging one. Its private sector, from giants like Tata and Adani's to its most agile micro-enterprises, is globalizing at breathtaking speed. The Make in India initiative has transformed the nation into a hub of manufacturing and innovation. Indian firms are hungry for energy security, new markets, and strategic assets. We have what they need, and they have what we need. Let us be clear about the opportunities before us. Economic diversification. The opportunity is urgent and tangible. Indian investment can establish manufacturing facilities here, pharmaceuticals, agro-processing, light assembly, that serves not only our domestic market, but the entire CARICOM region. Our double taxation treaties, our English-speaking workforce, our stable financial systems, these are not incidental advantages. They are the foundation of a new export economy. With Indian capital and our strategic location, we can become the gateway of the Americas for one of the world's fastest growing economies. On technology, India has achieved something remarkable. It built world-class digital public infrastructure, Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, and that serves over 1 billion people, leapfrogging development stages that took the Western nation decades. We can do the same. Through this partnership, we can digitize government services, expand financial inclusion, deploy drone technology for precision agriculture. We can move from being technology consumers to technology adapters, and one day, exporters. On human capital, our greatest resource is our people. India's demographic dividend is the envy of the world. Its institutions produce engineers, data scientists, and researchers who are transforming global industries. Through academic linkages and digital skills transfer, we can equip the generation of young Trinbagonians for the jobs of the future. We can give them a reason to stay, to build, and to lead right here at home. On energy, our traditional strength must be reimagined. India seeks energy security. We possess natural gas and world-class petrochemical capacity. Long-term offtake agreements benefit us both, but we must also look beyond extraction. Indian expertise in solar and wind can help us diversify our own energy mix, freeing our gas for higher value manufacturing. Joint ventures in renewables are not a distraction from our core business, but they are an investment in our survival. On agriculture and food security, we import too much, placing significant pressure on our foreign exchange. This is both an economic vulnerability and a strategic weakness. India has mastered the art of feeding a vast population. Its agricultural scientists have developed high-yield, climate-resilient crops. Its cold chain logistics are world-class. We can partner to reduce our food import bill, create rural employment, and eventually export agricultural products to the very region from which we currently import. On geopolitical positioning, let us be frank. The world is reorganizing. Supply chains are shifting. Alliances have been reforged. A deep institutionalized partnership with India, a leading power of the global South, a voice at every significant international table, elevates Trinidad and Tobago. It signals that we are not passive spectators to global change, but active participants shaping our own destiny. The mission of the TTIBF. Ladies and gentlemen, the TTIBF is not another networking organization. It is not a social club. It is a strategic instrument. Its objectives, trade missions, policy advocacy, market intelligence, skills workshop, investment, delegations are not abstract ambitions. They are a blueprint for diversification, modernization, and resilience. This federation will succeed only if we, the private sector, and all stakeholders commit to it, not with passive membership, but with active engagement, with investment, with the willingness to take risk. Dr. Arjun and his team have done the arduous work of building this vessel. Now it is our turn to board it. I am proud that Kusal Group of companies stand firmly with this initiative. Tonight, I invite every business leader in this room, whether you operate in energy, manufacturing services, or agriculture, to join us. Contribute, participate, bring your ideas, your capital, your people. Let us grow together and sustain generations to come. Let us build this bridge, brick by brick, partnership by partnership. Let us secure for Trinidad and Tobago a future that will outlast any single government, any business cycle, any global shock. The road to our diversified, prosperous future runs through this federation. Thank you, and may God bless all of you.
Thank you so very much. Dr. Suryanarayan Kusal, Executive Chairman of the Kusal's Group of Companies, for the keynote address. And just to add to what Dr. Kusal would have said, if you are interested in being part of this newly formed federation, the TTIBF, I've been advised that you can simply go to the banner. We've got strategically placed banners, and you can simply scan the code, and that gets you in to simply joining Dr. Arjun. Joining is as easy as that, being part and learning more about the federation. Again, it's as simple as scanning the QR code, and we all know how to do that, so feel free. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to a feature address. And we'd like to ask him to please join us on stage again. And for that feature address, we'd like to welcome Senator the Honorable Satyakumar Maharaj, our Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, So please join us on stage.
Good evening, everyone. The Honorable Devanand Tanku, Minister of Finance, Dr. Colin Neil Gosain, Parliamentary Secretary, Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajput, High Commissioner of India to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Valmiki Arjun, President and the Directors of the TNT India Business Federation, Dr. Sunarayan Kusal, Executive Chairman, Kusal's Group of Companies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly a pleasure to join you for the launch of the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation. This is not a ceremonial launch. This is a business instrument built to convert history into opportunity and relationships into results. We are taking 180 years of shared heritage and turning it into a modern platform of trade, investment, innovation, and enterprise. I congratulate Dr. Rajput and Dr. Arjun for their leadership in establishing the Federation and for bringing us together at such a pivotal moment. I also extend my appreciation to the entrepreneurs, industry leaders, investors, and partners from both Trinidad and Tobago and India. Your presence signals one thing: there's appetite for deeper cooperation, and we are ready to move. Now, my introduction to this federation preceded my appointment as Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism. Sometime in 2024, Dr. Arjun and his team visited me in my former workplace and spoke to me about this idea they had. And I had recently come back from a trip to Ghana. And here I'm starting to see. Now remember, I'm not involved in politics at all. I'm just thinking about retirement. 45 years in this business. And I started to spark me up. I like this idea. I said, God is really a Trinity. Can you imagine? I went to Ghana, and I arrived at the immigration, handed the immigration officer my passport. He stamps it and said, "Welcome home, sir." I like that. Then I went, and it was a trade mission I went on. And I went for lunch, first day. And I learned a lesson. Don't go in Ghana, in Accra in Ghana for lunch at 12 o'clock. Nobody is there to serve you. They're all watching Indian soaps. And they're hooked. And they got this Akon language coming across. And they wouldn't give you water if you asked for it. So here I am. I'm seeing a natural bridge between India and Africa and Trinidad and Tobago. An epicenter between the East and the West, with Trinidad being the transatlantic hub. It's this, you know, Prime Minister Modi called it the South-South Initiative. but I call it the Global Majority Initiative, because it's 5 billion people you connect in and you don't have to go northward. Think about it. The relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and India is built on nearly 2 centuries of friendship, cultural heritage, cultural exchange, and shared values. From an era of internship, the Indian community has become an integral part of our national identity, shaping our cuisine, music, festivals, and importantly, our entrepreneurial spirit. Over time, the social bond matured into diplomacy, and diplomacy opened doors for business. We built a framework, the 2007 Trade Investment Promotion and Protection Agreement, and later the 2012 visit of Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa that yielded key agreements. And more recently, we welcomed Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to Trinidad and Tobago, an important visit that reaffirmed our ambition to strengthen this corridor. India, as the other speakers have said, is a country of 1.4 billion people, rapidly growing. And it's a natural expansion model for businesses in Trinidad and Tobago. And it's a natural gateway for businesses in India to reach the Western world. We have built at the ministry our non-oil and gas diversification on 3 important pillars: trade, investment, and tourism. And when I was first sworn in, the first thing the media asked me, what's the first thing you want to do? I said, I want to establish a gateway linking the East from India to Accra, Ghana, to Piarco. And that is going to open up, and somebody mentioned it, there are 400 million Indians who can travel. And you know how they love Lara, Narayan, Bravo, right? Cricket fanatics. And they go to the Maldives and stuff. And so tourism is an important foreign exchange earner and diversification strategy for the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, and trade and investment. And I just want to tell you, Excellency, no disrespect, but Trinidad and Tobago is the greatest country on earth. Per capita, we have more marketable sites that people will come to visit. We have the oldest rainforest in the registered rainforest in the world. We have the only pitch lake in the world. And see that carnival you have in Goa? That originated from Trinidad Carnival. And where can you meet a fusion? You just saw Trinidad Carnival. And it's just mesmerizing the way everybody enjoyed themselves together. You know, in my former life, I had a visit from an international pharmaceutical salesperson, visited all the countries in the world. And she said to me, this is the only country in the world where people don't tolerate each other. They embrace each other. And that is a powerful, powerful marketing for any country. Say what you want. We still have oil and gas, eh? We have agriculture. Do you know that we have the most diversified non-energy manufacturing sector in the world per capita? Think about it. almost twice the number of HS codes than Mauritius and Fiji. I didn't talk about Mauritius. But we produce more products in Trinidad and Tobago than per capita than any other country in the world. So we are not coming from greenfield and going to start doing something. We already did it. We used to manufacture almost everything in Trinidad at one point. Then WTO came and that changed the rules, but the rules are changing back now. Right? So we will welcome, Excellency, your help and the help of all parties to negotiate a partial scope agreement with India and have it finalized. Our problem in this country is not innovation and entrepreneurs. Look at in Kusal, and I've seen all these entrepreneurs here. Our problem is market size. We outgrow this market too fast. And when you have to go and export to Grenada and Suriname and Guyana and got to go certificate of origin for each one, customs documents for each one. If you're in a big country and you want to grow, you go to the next city. No, we have to export. That's our problem. So we are looking for big markets for our manufacturers. And India is one of Trinidad and Tobago's most emerging trading partners. We're seeing the signs already. In 2024, it ranked as our 31st export destination and 11th largest source of imports, particularly in pharmaceuticals and automobiles, sectors where India is globally competitive. Excellency, the opportunities for pharmaceuticals and a hub here is unprecedented. When you look at Trinidad and Tobago, don't look at us alone. Look at all the concessions that we have. You have concessions, but we also have concessions. We have duty-free concessions into Colombia, into Dominican Republic, all of CARICOM, into Venezuela, into Costa Rica. We have duty-free concessions. Where other countries, we have the only duty-free concessions virtually in Cuba. So you open that market up, and the opportunities are boundless. We are already seeing encouraging signs. Last month, we celebrated the first shipment of Angostura products to India in over a decade. In May 2025, Carib Brewery entered the world's largest beer market through a partnership with Global Spirits Limited. Partnerships, relationships are important. That's why this federation is critical. That's why I give it my initial blessing. Carib is now sold in cities such as Lucknow, Kanpur, and Ayodhya. Have I spelled that correctly? Yeah. These are not isolated wins. These are signals of momentum. Following Prime Minister Modi's recent visit, several areas have been identified for expanded cooperation, information and communication technology. India is known as the back office of the world. Trinidad and Tobago is building its own digital ecosystem. Together we can collaborate in software development, fintech, cybersecurity, and business processing outsourcing. Pharmaceutical and healthcare, as mentioned, agriculture and agro-processing, tourism and hospitality and culture, renewable energy. Why this federation and why now? For nearly 2 centuries, our shared love of culture, music, cuisine, and cricket has built deep social capital. The federation aims to convert that trust into tangible outcomes, investment, technology transfer, and sustainable growth. And the timing matters. The global landscape is shifting. Supply chains are being redesigned. Digital technologies are reshaping productivity. Clean energy is redefining competitiveness. In this environment, Trinidad and Tobago India corridor is uniquely positioned as a bridge between South Asia and the Caribbean and Latin America. The Federation, therefore, is meant to be a results-driven platform. Drawing from my 45 years' experience in business, in manufacturing, not trading, manufacturing, I challenge the Federation to focus on 5 key pillars. Implement the MOUs, have them signed. Time is money. Unlock the gateway potential. Trinidad and Tobago is the Eastern Caribbean's largest economy and an ideal gateway to 700 million persons in Latin America and the Caribbean market. Trinidad and Tobago is open for business. Support our SMEs. Our Buy Local, Build Trinbago campaign envisions small businesses integrating into Indian supply chains, especially in manufacturing, food and beverage, pharmaceuticals, and agro-processing. I'd like to encourage you. One of the first statements I made, coming from the business sector, and a member of 5 different chambers, I always felt that the business sector is fragmented in Trinidad and Tobago, and I advocated for the formation of the private sector organization of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm encouraging the TNT India Business Federation to join the private sector organization of Trinidad and Tobago. The heads of the PSOT are here today to show their support. And connect with the diaspora. Our diaspora is not just a cultural bridge, it is a business multiplier. Let us engage them with purpose. The government of Trinidad and Tobago is committed to building a future-ready economy. We are pursuing a partial scope agreement with India, just to be signed, to reduce tariffs and encourage joint ventures. We are also integrating India's Unified Payment Interface, UPI, to make cross-border transactions as seamless as sending a text message. That's amazing, really, really amazing. The Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism stands ready to partner with you. Trinidad and Tobago is open for business. Together, let us build bridges of commerce, not just corridors of conversation. Let us innovate, invest, and inspire each other as partners in progress. In conclusion, I congratulate the President and the Board of the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation for your vision. I thank our private sector for the confidence and commitment, and I welcome our international partners to this new chapter of collaboration. And I leave you with the words of Mahatma Gandhi. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. This is why we are here today, to shape that change together. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister Satyakumar Maharaj. I'd like to take the opportunity, if you missed it before, I've been advised to advertise this as if I were on radio, and I am advertising it. Please feel free to scan the code if you want to learn more about the Federation. And obviously, you can join as early as today, I would imagine. I understand that we do have, if I'm correct, down at the back, a sign-up table. I'm not sure if it is. Yes, it is. So you can also speak to the young lady at the back and sign up immediately today while we're mixing and mingling after we're almost close to the end. We've got dinner time coming up shortly, but I'm going to put my audiovisual team on standby because we do have a little bit of a surprise for you at this time, everyone. From across the seas, across the miles, we have been sent this wonderful greeting from His Excellency Chandrarat Singh, the High Commissioner of Trinidad and Tobago to India. Let's take a listen.
I consider the inauguration of this Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation to be a significant moment in the economic relations between Trinidad and Tobago and India. The Federation could be a powerful vehicle for intensifying the trade, investment, and tourism collaboration between our two countries. I wish to congratulate the organizers for this excellent initiative, and as the Trinidad and Tobago High Commissioner to India, pledge my support for them as we together exploit the tremendous opportunities India has to offer to us. Congratulations and best wishes.
We thank him, His Excellency Chandrarat Singh, High Commissioner of Trinidad and Tobago to India, for sending us that lovely greeting. At this time, I'd like to ask, with closing remarks and a vote of thanks, the director, one of the directors of the TTIBF and general manager of Chaddock Foods and the Little Store Limited, Trinidad and Tobago. Please welcome Mrs. Siddhi Sankar. Join us, please, Siddhi.
Good evening, His Excellency Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajpurohit, High Commissioner of India, Honorable Ministers, Senator, the Honorable Satyakama Maharaj, Minister of Trade and Tourism, the Honorable Dave Tanku, Minister of Finance, other Honorable Ministers, members of the Diplomatic Corps, leaders of corporate Trinidad and Tobago, members of the finance and banking sector, business leaders, partners, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. As we come to the close of this historic and memorable occasion, it is both my privilege and honor to deliver closing remarks and a vote of thanks on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation. Today's ceremony represents more than the formal launch of an organization. It reflects a shared commitment between Trinidad and Tobago and India, two nations connected with a shared commitment of history, culture, and enduring spirit of enterprise. To deepen this collaboration and unlock new opportunities for mutual growth and steady success. Indeed, the bonds that unite us are not only economic, but also cultural, rooted in generations of exchange, shared values, and mutual respect that continue to shape our societies today. We are deeply honored to have as a major support His Excellency Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajpurohit, High Commissioner of India, whose presence lends great distinction to this occasion. Thank you, sir. Your Excellency, we thank you for your guidance, your encouragement, and steadfast support in strengthening India-Trinidad and Tobago relations. Your leadership reflects the spirit of partnership and goodwill that this federation seeks to promote. I also extend sincere appreciation to Senator, the Honorable Satyakama Maharaj, Minister of Trade and Tourism, and the Honorable Dave Tanku, Minister of Finance, for gracing us with your presence. Your participation signals strong confidence in the role of business, diplomacy, and collaboration in advancing national and bilateral development. We are grateful to our distinguished speakers, Dr. Kusal, and contributors whose insights have helped shape the vision and direction of our federation. Your words today have reinforced the importance of cooperation, innovation, and inclusive economic progress. To our leaders of corporate Trinidad and Tobago, especially to our colleagues in all sectors represented today, sectors of energy, banking, finance, retail, distribution, manufacturing, medicine, pharma, trade of precious metals and gems, publishing, just to name a few. We thank you for your support and engagement. Your role in enabling investment, facilitating trade, and supporting enterprise is essential for this transforming opportunity to result in tangible economic impact. It warms my heart, even at this point, to see a resounding success via the active engagement, as emails have already been flooding in for submissions for registration. I take the opportunity once more to direct you to our QR code and our membership desk just at the back. Our TTIBF reps are awaiting you. To the wider business community, entrepreneurs, and stakeholders present, we thank you for joining us in this important milestone. The strength and success of Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation will ultimately be defined by our collaboration, our ambition, and our shared vision as members. I would also like to acknowledge the organizing committee, our SEWA TT volunteers, and the support teams who worked diligently behind the scenes to ensure today's event was executed with excellence. Your dedication is truly appreciated. To our partners in the media, thank you for helping us share this story and amplifying our vision of the Federation beyond this room. As we conclude, let us carry forward the spirit of goodwill and cooperation that has defined today's ceremony. The Trinidad and Tobago India Business Federation stands ready to serve you as a bridge between markets, cultures, and ideas, one that fosters trust, encourages innovation, and creates lasting value for both nations. Thank you all for being a part of this landmark occasion. We look forward to walking this journey together. Thank you and good night.
Siddhi Sankar, thank you very much, Siddhi. Siddhi is the director of the TTIBF. And did we tell you about the QR code? I'm just joking. Just before we go to dinner, guys, I'd like to ask for a photo opportunity for the media, the official photo opportunity. We'd like to invite the Honorable Minister of Finance, Devendranath Tanku, to join us on stage. Honorable Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, our High Commissioner, His Excellency, Dr. Kusal as well, Dr. Valmiki Arjun, and Valmiki will advise me accordingly as we conduct the rest of our photos opportunities. The rest of the team? Okay, so we have the other members of the TTIBF officials. Yeah, we're asking you to please join us on stage. And as a matter of fact, we've got the entire head table, so please join us on stage. I'm going to ask our DJ to give us a little bit of background music, just light music, while we conduct this very important task on stage, photography-wise, and then we'll move to dinner time. I'll advise you that we've got...
This is TTT. Live for local.
We rolling big with NLCB, Playway, and Fast Cash. Now, there's a jackpot after every draw. Just place your bet with any Mega Mix option or Monster Draw and get your jackpot numbers at